I wasn't even planning on making this video, but this story is a little too good to pass up. So Wednesday, a police officer was called to this, I guess, club, bar, facility at night over a charge of battery that revolved around this woman who was in a group with Zimmerman, everybody's favorite neighborhood watch person. Of course, I say that sarcastically. Now, when the officer got over there, he found Zimmerman yelling at a waitress who claims that she wanted him or other members of his group, Entourage, to pay for some things they bought. And Zimmerman grabbed the credit card and just refused to, pay for his stuff or his group stuff. So the officer, is, I guess, witness to this. The manager comes over and tells him, you got to get out of here. You're trespassing." Just gets tired of him essentially. Now this is where it gets a little interesting. Zimmerman allegedly says to the manager rather, "I didn't know you were it has a racial expletive lover." I'm guessing that's the N word. So, he leaves out of there, presumably with his guys or his friends, his buddies, his compadres, his amigos, whatever you want to call them, his companions. And at that point, the officer goes outside, asks him about another incident relating around a battery charge Zimmerman made, where he says someone touched him twice on the shoulder, and that was the battery charge that he was trying to make. This person touched him on the shoulder twice, like that, or some other type of way. Maybe they hit him twice on the shoulder. I'm about to say maybe he rubbed him on the shoulder. He gets a sexual assault charge. So the officer kind of didn't think it was a big deal and figured that the person wasn't doing anything that really qualified as assault and would probably face no charges. At that point, or some point during this exchange, the officer tries to get him to file a report. Now Zimmerman writes the information on the wrong side of the paper, and then when the officer has him to do it again because he did it wrong the first time, he writes that the officer isn't qualified to flip burgers. And then finally gets this information in regardless. So once they're done with their communications, the officer tells, or rather Zimmerman is told by the officer, Zimmerman tells the officer that he's planning on suing the Seminole County Sheriff's Office and that he will remember him. "I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by." That was the first thing that came to my mind when I read that line. Kind of a run-of-the-mill incident compared to some of his other stuff. But it does show you that it's as if he can't go anywhere without there being a problem. And I say this because, I think of the dates of these other incidents we've had. We've had the one where he sold the gun over a couple months ago, earlier this year, about halfway through. And then there was the him getting punched in the face by the guy. I mean, you can't go, it seems, at least 4 months without hearing of him in some incident. And a lot of this stuff, it seems he's bringing on himself. Now, I've gone places with people before. I've seen people go places before, and they're not getting into it with the cops or with the waitress or the manager. Half the time when I go into a store and I, go somewhere, the manager doesn't see me, I don't see them, because I just get what I want to get and go, or just enjoy my night and don't cause a disturbance. But again, I'm kind of the person who doesn't really like confrontation anyway. I doubt much will come out of suing Seminole County, their sheriff office. I don't know what that's supposed to do other than be a vague, or not a vague, but a threat that won't actually go through or pad out. It just doesn't appear to be anything of merit. I don't believe he's going to sue there, and I especially don't believe that he's going to win. But my reason for believing he won't sue there is because, according to his brother, he was homeless for a time, and I've heard reports that he lives with people, or supporters, or friends, and all the other little individuals who still feel they should associate with him after all of this stuff. I want to just make a video just with everything he's done, just compile it all in there and talk about all of it. So, that it is what it is. Thank you for watching, and have a good night. And do not go to a bar and fuss at the waitress or try to argue with somebody over nothing, because that was nothing and it turned into something over it being blown out of proportion by the individual who claims he's being harassed and threatened and living a life on the lam. You can't go around doing what he does and get away with it. He gets away with it because he has this shield over him where no matter what it is, he always can find a way out. And I've never seen that before. This man is a phenomenon in that he can do whatever he wants and face no legal ramifications. He can get all the criticism and controversy in the world, but still, at the end of the day, be unaffected, because status quo does not change, and things stay exactly the same for him from a legal perspective year after year. I've never seen this before. I don't think we've ever had a recurring criminal that just goes around and gets into things, or someone who killed somebody that just walks around, and yeah, he'll get into something with this person or that person, but it won't be over. He'll still make it out fine at the end of it. I've never seen that before. But I'm dragging this out. Have a good day, a good night rather.